for a little bit of a ride. It's not the best of days, but it's not as bad as I was hoping for. I was hoping for absolutely pouring down rain. And the reason is I've got brand new biking gear. It's not your usual cheap shite eBay stuff. It's actually proper, and it says it's waterproof, so I want to know if it is, which is why I was hoping for rain. Certainly more than what we've got now. But I got quite a bit of cash for my birthday, and I used it to buy some new stuff. So what I've got Oxford base layer, the trousers and the shirt and the gloves, and over the top of that, I didn't buy these, it was Marks and Spencer's fleeces, the trousers and the jacket. Not the most fashionable things in the world, but treating that as a mid layer at the moment. I might replace them later on with something more appropriate. And the jacket is a Dianese Tempest D-Dry. So I think it's their version of Gore-Tex, the D-Dry, isn't it? The trousers are Dianese over Flux D-Dry. They're not your normal Cordura. They're what's called boomerang fabric. But they've got a liner of their D-Dry, then an outer layer of the boomerang fabric. The zip, for when you're trying to get your boots on, goes all the way up to your hip if that's what you want. So I'm interested if they're all waterproof and if they're all warm. Oh, the gloves, by the way, they're brand new as well. They're Dianese Tempest gloves. Now I have been wearing the this lot, with the exception of the base layer, the Oxfords, to and from work the last week or so. In particular when it was a bit nippy. Found them to be quite warm, as it happens. The trousers are a bit airy in that they've got a mesh around your hips with fabric underneath, but you can feel the air moving around the mesh. It's not bad, it's quite cooling. Not too cooling. The jacket, it's quite warm. It's got a high neck with two studs on it, and then you've got Velcro straps for fastening it up a little bit tighter if you want it. I haven't made any adjustments at all. The fleece jacket, the collar comes under the collar, right up to the top of the collar on the jacket, so it fits quite well. So I've not had to make any adjustments there at all. I got zips on the arms for going over the gloves. I know it's not unusual, but it is unusual for me to use them. And they are quite well made. While I'm thinking on about the jacket, it has got its own liner. It's not fleece. I can't remember what they call it. But it's in there. But I got quite a lot of layers on my top. I have to admit, I don't feel cold. The only thing I can feel is how my chest feels a little bit cooler than the rest of me. Maybe the jacket isn't windproof. I know the fleece jacket definitely isn't. I also know I can buy a mid-layer, Oxford mid-layer that is windproof, so Got my eye on one of those. So I'm kind of hoping that this lot's waterproof. I'm used to the idea of wearing layers. I used to do that a long time in the past when I used to ride in whatever weather. I'd quite happily go out on a frosty day and do 250 miles. So I'm familiar with the idea of layers, but I used to do it a little bit different. I used to have thermal vest and long johns, and a thin t-shirt, and a rough cotton shirt, and a thin jumper, and a waterproof jacket, and I'd have tracky bottoms. I've got a pair of tracky bottoms that have got 3 layers on it, like a very thinnish cotton layer, the bottom, bit of foam, and then the outer layer. And I used to put waterproof trousers on, then my bike jacket and trousers over the top. It was rather Michelin manish, and I'm hoping that the new stuff that I get will be rather less snug, shall we say. At the moment I feel alright as it happens. The base layer definitely feels like a snug fit. You can feel that gripping. It's quite cool. But yeah, the jacket's a bit of a snug fit. So are the gloves as it happens. I already know what happens with the gloves. They're not massively warm. I only rode, it's like a 20-mile ride home from work. It's not far. But in the time it took me to get home, I could feel my fingers beginning to chill. That's including wearing the Oxford base layer gloves underneath. So I know for long rides in the cold, that's just not going to be good enough. Problem is, in the past I've tried all sorts of things. I've put things over the handlebars, can't remember what they call them, and I just thought those were dangerous. But I've never bothered with them since. I tried over mitts, the ones with a thumb and a thing to cover up your other 4 fingers. They were alright actually. They were quite warm, to say the least. They were pretty good. The only problem with them is when I went to use the brake, the front of the mitt caught on the bottom of the brake lever, and I couldn't. You could get to the brakes. It weren't that bad, but it's a tiny second sort of delay. I decided that really wasn't good enough, so I stopped wearing them. I tried marigolds. They wouldn't go over the gloves. I have at home got a pair of proper, decently thick rubber gloves that do go over the gloves as it happens, but can't really move my fingers much when I try to operate the brake or anything like that, and it doesn't feel right. So I haven't worn those since. I've tried putting surgical gloves over the top. They just break. And I've tried putting like a thin cotton glove with a latex glove over the top and then put my bike gloves on over them. I couldn't get my hand in the gloves. The latex stuck on the inside of the glove. So up to now I've not found anything that really works hand-wise, apart from heated handlebar grips, which I'm not going to be putting on this bike. Can't be arsed. So that leaves me with a couple of other choices. I can get heated gloves. And I've seen a few pairs of those. They are actually quite thin. They will go under my motorbike gloves. The battery operated, the ones I've seen, and I know I think I can get some that are linked to my battery. But the ones I've seen are battery operated with like a little battery that goes into the inner glove itself. Not bad. Maybe it'll work. They say it gives you 5 hours of heating off one battery. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. But Dianese also do a 5-fingered over mitt. Maybe that'll work. I am wary of anything like the overmitt though, or the overgloves, whichever way you want to think about them. I think from experience they might restrict my hands a bit, or they might catch on the bottom of the brake lever. I don't know. So I'm loath to spend £40 or so on anything like that for it not to do what it's supposed to do. I don't know where I am. Hardly unusual, I suppose. Oh, Northwich by the looks of it. By now I will have had my bike locked away for the winter. The reason I haven't is that the tyres have still got quite a bit of tread left on them. And I think it's worthwhile enjoying a bit of riding out. So here I am. Oh, is this a one-way bridge? Oh yeah. Bearing in mind I don't know where I am, it's a bit tricky picking where I want to go next. I'll stick in this right-hand lane, see where it leads me. Now the pockets on this jacket are meant to be waterproof, so I'm trusting them with my phone and my wallet. Yeah, I'm in Northwich. I wonder where this will go. Hopefully out of Northwich. I've also been looking at, we're not doing a European trip next year, but I've been looking at something in the UK. I'm toying with the idea of going up to the Orkneys. Nothing's ever easy though, is it? Excuse me. Shall I cut across all of this traffic and go this way? Yeah. The ferry timings are not really easy to work around. We have an early morning ferry, a midday ferry and an evening ferry. And so the distance up to any of the ferry ports, it's about 500 miles, and neither Paul and myself want to do anything like that in a single day again. So it's kind of keep it to 250, 300 miles in a day, which means we can't really get easily the early morning or the midday ferry. It's going to have to be the evening ferry. The evening ferry sails, the best one I can find sails at 7:45. Lands in St Margaret's Bay about 7:45. by the time you're off and away, it's probably going to be 8 o'clock. Although I appreciate they are quick sometimes. And then it's finding a campsite, because the time of year we think we're going, it's sunset about just after 9 o'clock. So if you're off the ferry for 8, say, and you got a half-hour ride, you're not really going to get to the campsite until 8:30. You've got half an hour to get everything set up before it's dark. It's not a lot. I'd like a bit more. Getting off's a little bit different. They've got an overnight ferry from Stromness, I think it is, to Scrabster. If you book yourself on that and book a room with the breakfast next morning, you can get on the ferry 7:30 at night, stay in your cabin overnight, have breakfast in the morning, be back on the mainland for 8 o'clock in the morning, which will give us time to get a good distance through the way home. It's not going to work the other way. If you get the ferry from Scrabster to Stromness, it gets you to the terminal in Stromness for 8:30. And I say it'll be dark at 9, so you've got not only got to get off the ferry, check in at a campsite, which actually isn't that far away. It's only about a 5-minute ride away. Then you've got to get your tent set up before it gets dark. So I don't really think that's an option. Yeah. What about the A559 and head off down to Warrington? Hey, let's go and do it. I don't know which end of Warrington I'm going to end up in, but probably not the Runcorn end. Yeah, nothing to say Warrington. Oh, there it is. Straight on. Pity about the pub being closed. Oh, it's better. Only done 13 miles. Yeah, so the tyres have got a bit of tread left in them. I think they've done about 6,000 miles. Which is more than I've got out of any other tyre I've ever had. And they do still Feel reasonably good. They're not as good as they were when I first got them, but they still feel okay. So I'm happy to ride them, and if they last the winter and I get a bit of winter riding in, that'll be quite nice. But I suspect as time goes on he'll get a bit more skittery. But for now, I'm alright with them. I've also replaced some of my camping gear while I think on. I got an airbed, packs up tiny. I have one of those self-inflating mattresses. It's about 2.5 foot long. When you've rolled it all up as tight as you can, it's probably about 8-9 inches diameter, something like that. And the new airbed fits in my hand, and I can blow it up by mouth in a minute or two. And then I got a new camping chair. I got one of the Trekology ones. I got it with a mat at the bottom that clips to the feet on the forelegs so it doesn't dig into the soil. Now at the moment I normally take a camping chair that I got from Asda. It cost me £2.50, which was a bit of a bargain if you want the truth. Bearing in mind I've had those for something like 4 years. Maybe longer, I don't know. But that camping chair packs up quite large. It's bigger than the self-inflating mattress I've got. But the new chair, it's about the length of 2 of my hands and about the width of 1 of my hands. Now both of them fit in my pannier, so I can now get my sleeping bag, my airbed, my camping chair into my pannier, along with a few other bits and pieces as well, so I can get a cooker, a set of pans, pretty much everything I need into one pannier, whereas before it was a pannier plus a bloody great big sack across the back seat. So I'm looking forward to getting that lot out next spring. Getting back to the Orkneys, it's not just one island, there's a lot. Quite a lot, in fact. We're trying to do more than one. It's hard going. Ferry times, really not good. They don't do anything on a Sunday. I think there's one ferry goes to Shapinsay, I think it is, and comes back on the same day. Now fair do, Shapinsay is, give it half an hour, you've done the only road that's on the island that a motorbike would be suitable for, well my motorbike anyway. So you don't need much, you just need the ferry to hang around for 2 hours and you've done everything you need to do. But then you can't get a ferry onto Rousay I think it is. The ferry for that stays on Rousay overnight. So unless you can manage to get the ferry back to Kirkwall, you're there all night. and it's only a half-hour ride around the island. And the ferry timings are just so inconvenient that you really can't go from Chapinsay to Rousay in one day. It's just not possible. And then to get out to Hoy, well, they don't do Sunday sailings to Hoy. They only do a Saturday one. And it's a limited service. So you can get on to Hoy, but you might have a bugger getting off. But I don't really much mind. For me, it'll be a few days away. Stretton. I have a vague idea where I am. And some relaxing riding, because to be fair, the roads round Orkney, you don't have to go far to go all the way around it. I think it's something stupid like 100 miles, and you've gone round all the way around the island and done a few extra bits in between. So it's not a hard day's ride to go round. And if I can fit in an island or two islands, then yeah, it's a fairly relaxed sort of 2 days on the island. So it's not a killer trip, but it is a place I've wanted to go to for about a decade, so I think it's just going to have to be done. Wanted to go to the Shetland Islands for just as long. Oh, I know where I am now. Lower Stretton. Vague idea anyway. Maybe that's for another year. I don't really expect to have a new tent for going up to the Orkneys either. I've got right away, that's great. I'm quite happy to use the one that I've got. Appleton Thorn, I know where that is. Daresbury. Well, I know that road well, so let's get on it. I'm also thinking one of these meet and greet things. I've been looking for a suitable campsite. I think I might have found one. It's near Hawes. When I first looked at it, it was, well, it looked okay, but there wasn't a pub that I could find. And you want a pub, don't you? But when I looked at it again and scoured the village, I found a pub. So I'm kind of thinking maybe 2 nights, maybe 3 if I can persuade the wife to leave me alone and let me go. Never got a speeding ticket from the van that was parked there, so it was either wasn't working or I was behaving myself. So I'm thinking of something like that, maybe 2 or 3 nights. I'm going to think about what Paul's up to as well. He's got quite a lot on next year, same as I have in some respects. But I reckon one of those, and I think, not 100% sure I can do it, but I think maybe put in a couple of days out, just pick a place to ride to and go there and turn around and come back again. I've upgraded my sat-nav as well. I think I've already said it's the TomTom Rider 550. It's okay, I'm happy with it. Not happy with the fitment to the bike, with it braking when I was in Romania and then braking again when we did the campsite last time. I have got the same fitting. It was the easiest to sort of know to fit, so I bought 2 of them. I've got a spare one that goes under the seat, so if it happens again I can just replace it and take the broken one home and fix it. But I've also bought a bar. It's one that Hugh showed us, the Dianese bike, and I've had a look. Got it, I can fit it, but I noticed there's a cap on the switch gear, so I took the cap off, and underneath there is a screw mount, probably for a wing mirror on a different bike. And I just thought, you know what, that would be a brilliant place to put it. So I'm thinking, I've ordered up 8mm bolt to go in it. So I'm going to bolt it to that, and the sat nav can then come across a little bit, but excuse me. TomTom give you the handlebar mount for a round handlebar, so it'll bolt to the round post I've got, but then they give you like it's a ball socket that fits on the back of the TomTom, so I'll have the post sticking up a bit, then I'll have the handlebar mount sticking up a bit, then it'll be onto a short post for the 2 ball connectors. To me it sounds a bit wobbly, but it will definitely bring the sat nav up into my line of sight, which would be better for me. And if it's solidly bolted to the handlebars, maybe it's never going to come loose, but knowing my luck, it will. So I'll have to think of some way of tethering the whole thing to my bike so it doesn't go anywhere. I'll find a way to do that. There we are, pretty much home. Not a massive ride out, I've only done about 22 miles altogether. So yeah, I'm sort of thinking next year maybe we'll get 3 sort of meetings together, one of them camping, and then Paul and myself get away for a lengthy weekend to the Orkneys, if I can sort out ferries. I'm not planning on replacing the bike at all next year. I intend just to keep hold of this one. I like it, and when I look around at what the alternatives are, nothing really inspires me. So yeah, I'll be keeping it. I'm enjoying myself with it. Oh yeah, I modified or changed the positions for my helmets on me, sorry, cameras on my helmet. I did put the Coast S pretty much on top of the helmet, but what I found was when I put a rear facing camera on the helmet, all it did was pick up the microphone cable flapping about in the wind. So I swapped them round. See how that works out. And of course, you'll be aware I have issues with keeping the video level. Well, found out what it was. I leveled the lens up before I put my helmet on. But I watched what I did. I watched the videos back. How come when the video comes out it's tilted, sometimes by quite a long way. And I found out what I was doing. Setting the lenses up so that they were horizontal. Turning my helmet upside down and dropping it on the back seat. Also on the bike seat. And putting the helmet on, and doing that, the lens knocked against the seat and spun round. So now I don't put my crash helmet down on the bike seat. I try to be away from the bike when I'm putting the helmet on so it doesn't disturb the lenses. And today will be the first chance I get to see if that's been successful. It hasn't been a long ride, it's only been a short one. I don't feel at all uncomfortable or cold. I haven't had the opportunity to test the waterproofing properly, but I have got about another 170 miles left in the tank. So hopefully one day I'll get an absolute downpour and I'll be able to get out in it and see.